Meeting of the Budget Review Committee to order. It's March 22nd, 2021, and this meeting is being held via teleconference. As chairman of the Budget Review Committee, I find that due to the state of emergency declared by the governor as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, and in accordance with the governor's emergency order number 12 pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to this meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, I'm confirming that we are providing public access to the meeting by telephone with additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means. To access Zoom, please refer to the agenda or the city's website for the meeting link. To join by phone, dial 1-929-205-6099. The meeting ID is 892-0149-3441, and the passcode is 875014. The public may also view the meeting via channel 16. We previously gave notice to the public of the necessary information for accessing the meeting through the public postings. Instructions have also been provided on the City of Nashville's website at www.nashville.nh.gov and publicly noticed at City Hall and Nashville Public Library. If anyone has a problem accessing the meeting via phone or channel 16, please call 603-821-2049 and they will help you connect. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting via the methods mentioned above, the meeting will be adjourned and rescheduled. Please note that all votes taken during this meeting should be done by roll call vote. Let's start the meeting by taking a roll call attendance. When each member states their presence, please also state whether there is anyone in the room with you during the meeting, which is required under the right to know law. Alderman O'Brien, would you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Alderwoman at Large, Shoshana Kelly.
I'm here. I'm alone and I can hear everyone.
Alderman at Large, Michael O'Brien, the clerk, is present. I could hear the proceedings and I am alone. Alderman at Large, Laurie Wilshire.
I am here, I am alone, and I can hear everyone.
Alderman Ernest Jetty.
I'm here alone and I can hear the proceedings.
Alderman Jan Schmidt.
I'm present, alone, and I can hear everyone.
Alderman at Large, Ben Clemens.
I am here, I can hear everyone, and I'm by myself.
And Alderman Richard Dowd.
I am present, I can hear everyone, and I am here alone.
All right, Mr. Chairman, you have magnificent seven are all present and accounted for. Also in attendance is Dan Donovan, Chief Operating Officer of Nashville School District. And I have on my roll, I don't know if John Griffin is present.
John's on, he's on.
Okay, John Griffin, CFO and Controller for the City of Nashua.
Okay. First item of business on the agenda is public comment. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak on tonight's agenda? Seeing and hearing no one, we'll move on. Communications.
There is none.
Unfinished business.
There is none.
New business resolutions.
Before us this evening is R-20-120, relative to the transfer of $755,000 from Department 194 contingency account number 70112 contingency for educational priorities to various school department accounts. Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to recommend final passage by roll call.
Okay, the motion on the floor is for final passage of R-21-120. And I'm going to believe that Mr. Donovan would like to speak to it.
Yes, thank you, Chair. This amount of money, the $755,000, is the remainder of the $2.2 million of one-time funds that were put into contingency by the Board of Aldermen when the fiscal year 21 budget was approved. We had not yet purchased Franklin Street, which is one reason why we certainly didn't ask for that money. And the second item on the second item, the fiber at the elementary schools and the system-wide backup, that is IT costs that we had to wait to get the E-rate funding for. So we had previously asked for and received from the Board of Aldermen, $1,445,000. That was back in the fall. So this is to request the remainder of those funds to be used for the two items I just mentioned. And there's a difference of $15,000 that I request we put in the legal services account. And the reason for that was we had planned to buy QuickBooks software, and we were able to purchase that in June because we could get a discount, and we had a little money left over at the end of the budget last year.
Okay. Mr. Griffin, did you want to add anything?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Donovan did a great job explaining it. And again, this will wrap up the amounts put away. So I'm in full support. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any questions relative to this motion? Alderman Wiltshire.
Thank you. My question through you to Mr. Donovan, the E-rate. I know it was Mr. Fahrenkopf that was doing that before. Who's doing that for you now?
We actually have a consultant we work with to do that. You're right, it was a pet project of Mr. Fahrenkopf. He spent a lot of time on it. And it changes every year. So it can get quite complicated. So we've hired a consultant to help us with it.
As did I. It is very complicated. But kudos to you guys for getting that and using that as a resource, because it's a good resource. Thank you.
Yes, significant savings, up to 60% sometimes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Mr. Fahrenkopf did a great job adding fiber to, if not all, many of our schools and central office, and that would have never happened without his due diligence and in getting the money through that program. So, are there any other questions relative to the allowance for passage of this motion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Alderman Clemmons,
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt,
Yes.
Alderman Jettie,
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
The clerk, Alderman O'Brien votes yes. Alderwoman Kelly,
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes,
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 yeas, 0 nays.
motion carries. New business ordinances.
There is none.
I don't believe we're taking anything from the table. Next item is public comment. Is there anyone from the public that would wish to address the budget committee? Seeing and hearing no one, we'll move on. Remarks by Alderman.
Do we not have
Alderman Bro-
general discussion?
I was just going to say, Mr. Chairman, if I may, through you to Mr. Griffin, too bad about the Bruins with the COVID.
They had a piece of paper covering up the general discussion. So any general discussions?
I had one actually.
Okay,
Um,
Alderwoman Kelly.
Thank you. I just actually wanted to ask, I know that we're, potentially waiting for some federal dollars. I was wondering when you think the budget season schedule will be put together, because this is a little bit late for us to be starting, correct?
The mayor wants to start in May. Yes, that is later than normal. And Donna is working with the calendar, moving the chess pieces as we speak.
Could I follow up?
Sure.
I guess we're in general discussion. Do you think that we'll crunch it into fewer nights versus when we have started in like March?
Within reason, yes.
Okay. All right. That was my
And
question.
the schedule will go out to everybody on the budget committee in advance of approval so that any conflicts or whatever can be worked out as best as possible.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right. And any other general comments? Alderman Wiltshire.
I don't know if you know, Mr. Chairman, but how many of our schools do not have fiber? Are there any that don't have fiber?
Mr. Donovan, are you aware?
No, they all have fiber, except for Franklin Street, obviously, which we did an RFP just recently for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I knew that I was 99.5% sure we had it all schools, but didn't want to go out in that limb too far.
Thank you.
But that has helped immensely on communications. The other thing I just want to mention to everybody is, and I don't know if you missed the conversation early on, but that big hole in the woods over at the Pennachuck school, that is on Pennachuck land, and it's the new solar farm being built. We have not started, although I wasn't over there today, we haven't started the project at Pennachuck Middle School yet, but we are going to be starting any day. Fencing will be going up, and the first thing we're going to do is build a new parking lot for teachers, since when we put a shovel in the ground, we'll be taking their parking away. So we need them to have a place to park. And at the joint special this Thursday, there will be a number of things to approve to get that project kicked off. Also, I wanted to mention that the next budget meeting, special budget meeting, is going to be on April 8th, not the 6th. On April 6th, the Director Marchand is having a very important meeting that she'd like all the aldermen to attend on the master plan. And then she will present to us on the topic, on the public hearing and the topic for the April 8th meeting. All right. Any other comments? No? Okay. I think we already covered remarks by Alderman. We don't need a non-public. Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to make a motion to adjourn by roll call.
Okay. Proceed.
Alderman Clemmons,
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt,
Yes.
Alderman Jettie,
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire,
Yes.
the clerk, Alderman O'Brien, votes yes. Hey.
Can you say yes?
He's voting yes.
Votes
You said
yes. I got him down. Alderman Kelly, I'll take that as the yes, and Alderman Dow.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, we have 7 yeas and 0 nays. 7.5, excuse me.
Motion carries, and we're adjourned at 7:13 PM.